This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Friday, November the 9th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, a minister in the Mayor Motley cabinet says Barbadians are wasting a lot of time talking about layoffs. Speaking on the sidelines of an art exhibition at the Barbados Museum and Historical Society last night, Minister of Culture and the Creative Economy John King suggests that citizens should instead be looking to the future.
Because when those jobs start to roll out, what are you going to report? Are you going to come back and say, oh, job well done, Mr. King? Or are you going to keep picking at if there are going to be layoffs? It's life.
What the thing about layoffs is that
it's life, my friend. It is life. You go through ups and you go through downs. This is just one of those small periods where we go through some downs. But trust me, in the long run, 2 years' time, you will not be asking me these questions. You will be saying to me, Mr. King, what else is coming?
The state-run Transport Board, meanwhile, will start retrenching some of its 600-strong workforce by month-end. First to go will be those who receive permanent appointments just weeks before the May 24th general elections. In making their disclosure yesterday afternoon following a more than 2-hour meeting with staff in the board's recreational room, Chairman Gregory Nichols told Barbados Today that while the statutory corporation is certain to begin with 50 employees, the final numbers have not yet been determined. He said the restructuring would not only involve job cuts, but the possible amalgamation of departments and the deployment of technology to create a more efficient, effective, and commercially viable bus service operation.
The first set of workers will retrench by the end of this month. We have already set that process in train. We've spoken to the Chief Labour Officer, we've spoken to the negotiating with the unions, and we have met with management, and we're in that transition now. And then we're also discussing other ways in which we can make Transport Board a leaner organization within the context of the budgetary cuts that are coming in the work program.
The Barbados Workers Union will be meeting with the Transport Board employees on Sunday afternoon at Solidarity House to formulate a response to the board's restructuring plans. Meanwhile, the horrors of catching a bus after work could become even more nightmarish soon as the Transport Board looks to prioritize the transportation of this island's school children on the cusp of peak time. Nichols said a depleted bus fleet is leaving the board with little choice but to scale back its service to the general public and make sure that school children are not left to wait until after dark to be collected from some of Barbados' schools.
I must say this, the board on Tuesday made a decision that schools must be the priority, particularly on evening times. Because we can't have a situation where school children are on the compound at schools after 6 and 7 o'clock. That is totally unacceptable. So that with a reduced bus fleet, the traveling public will have to understand now that the priority will be to remove the school children between 2 and 5 o'clock from the schools. If it means delays in our services, so be it, but we have to be responsible people. These are minor children, and we cannot have our school children waiting after 7 o'clock for buses. So they have to be the priority right now until we get our bus numbers back up with a more reliable fleet. There are a number of buses that are awaiting inspection, and we're going to go through that process with the Ministry of Transport Works and Licensing Authority. There are a number of buses being repaired by UCAL and Simpson Motors that are being worked on, and that rollout has been much slower than anticipated because of the lack of availability of parts, largely through a lack of availability of the resources to buy those parts.
And the Barbados Water Authority and the Barbados Workers Union are reporting progress on pay talks, including performance increments which go back more than 10 years. Special Advisor and former General Secretary of the union, Sir Roy Trotman, said his team did not go into any details with the BWA about restructuring during a meeting with the management yesterday because it first needed to resolve the outstanding matters that also involve harmonization of skills and salary points where there have been variations over the period. Progress was also reported on the 5% salary hike retroactive to April this year.
We are working towards reaching a final resolution, and we expect that we will reach an understanding on those by next week on Wednesday.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. The Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago is standing with TV6 following an incident in which a reporter and a cameraman were intimidated and threatened by police. Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith has also apologized for the incident and intends to meet with the association. Griffith also implored the media to apologize when they make mistakes as well.
The Media Association of Trinidad and Tobago is condemning the behavior of members of the public and officers of the TTPS who threatened two TV6 employees while on duty on Tuesday. Addressing the incident in which a reporter and cameraman were intimidated and threatened by police and members of an affluent local family, Matt says they condemn unequivocally any attempt by the TTPS to prevent or obstruct the media in the performance of their duties.
And on the international scene, President Donald Trump has been hit by another setback within days of losing control of the House of Representatives in midterm elections. Trump's attempt to abolish the so-called Dreamers program that protects child immigrants from deportation received a major blow by an appeals court.
Trump has already seen his Republicans lose control of the House of Representatives this week, and now another setback. A U.S. appeals court in California on Thursday upheld a ruling that the Trump administration must continue the controversial DACA program introduced under former President Barack Obama in 2012. The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program protects from deportation hundreds of thousands of immigrants known as Dreamers who were brought to the country illegally as children. It also gives those immigrants work permits, though not a path to citizenship.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.